Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far and welcome to today's video where I am going to be sharing all of my big fat lash secrets, all of my tips and tricks that take my lashes from this to this. I'm going to be sharing my favorite mascaras and my mascara routine in order to get these luscious, gigantorous eyelashes. So if you want to know how I do this mega transformation, then keep watching. Okay, so first things first, we're going to talk about my lash serum. So my favorite lash serum that I have ever tried, and I have repurchased numerous times now, and I've been using it for a really good length of time, probably a couple of years at this point, is the Glow For It Lash Serum. Prior to discovering this one via TikTok, I previously had a not great experience with Lash. It did definitely get my lashes to grow, but my lashes are quite naturally curly. Like, I haven't curled them yet, and as you can see, they have quite a curl to them. And what happened with Lash, I got very dramatic results. My lashes were very, very, very much longer over a few months, but they just got crazy curly. It was insane. They just were so unruly and disheveled, and I couldn't control them. I couldn't really apply mascara to them, and they just didn't look good. They looked silly. So I stopped using it. I let my natural lashes reset, and then I came across Glow For It on TikTok. I saw a lot of this on my For You page, and so I decided to give it a go. The main reason I wanted to try this one was, one, it is from a small British female-owned brand, so I love supporting those smaller British-based brands. Two, the really exciting thing about Glow For It serum is that it does not contain prostaglandins. So very many lash serums, the vast majority of lash serums, their active ingredient is prostaglandins, which have quite serious potential side effects, including changing eye color, including staining of your lid skin, as well as potentially losing fat, breaking down fat under and around your eyes, giving you like that deep dark circles, or even like hollowed out under eye areas. So I really didn't want to use anything like that for a long period of time, which is another reason why I stopped using Lash. And when I heard that this didn't have any of those prostaglandins hormones in it, I thought, I'm going to give this a go, and I've got very good results. I haven't got anywhere near as dramatic a result as Lash. It's definitely a bit more natural, but I feel much safer using it, and I've got a manageable result that gives me longer, healthier lashes, but they are controllable and they still look great, and they aren't going all over many different directions. By the way, full disclosure, this video is not sponsored by Glow For It, and I bought this latest tube myself, but I have done a sponsored reel with them before, but that was after I had purchased several tubes myself, and they had seen my real results, and they wanted to work with me for that reason, because they knew I loved it and they knew I'd had really great results. So I have worked with them before, but after I'd already been purchasing it myself, and I have purchased it myself since working with them. Next up, let's talk about my favorite mascaras. So these are three of my all-time favorites. The Charlotte Tilbury Push Up Lashes is my #1 favorite. The Lisa Eldridge Kitten Lash, absolutely amazing for a fluffier lash, and the Roller Lash from Benefit, which is the one that I'm going to use today. I also love Benefit's Fanfest mascara. I've just repurchased it, it hasn't arrived yet, but those would be like my top 4. I typically favour a fanned out, very separated, lifted looking lash. I'm not so much these days a fan of like the fat, clumpier lash that I used to love a few years ago. Now I like a more fanned out, spread out, spikier looking lash. Like I said, the Charlotte Tilbury Push Up Lashes is my favourite, but I'm not going to use this one today because I know this one is very hit and miss. Lots of people like myself, it's their holy grail, best mascara, they're in love. Lots of people hate it and can't get the hang of it. So I wanted to show you one today that I think is a little easier to use and a little more sort of universally loved. So I'm going to show you the Benefit Roller Lash today. I do the same technique with all of these mascaras. The Charlotte Tilbury has that flat wand, so it is a slightly different application process. So I think it's better for me to show you one with a more classic brush and a more classic wand, as you can replicate this with whichever mascara you love and whichever you like to use. So just quickly before I start applying my mascara, you may notice today I have a very plain eyeshadow look, and I've gone for a really light mobile lid colour that is like my skin tone. Reason being, if you really want your lashes to stand out the most, that's what I would recommend. If you have a really busy eyeshadow look or a really deep eyeshadow colour or look, then you're not going to have as much contrast between a black or even a brown mascara, if that's your preference, and like your mobile lid. It's going to sort of blend in more with your eyeshadow. So if you really are just going for the most impact from your lashes, this is the sort of eyeshadow look that I would recommend. A light, kind of quiet background colour for the lashes to contrast against. Now, I don't use a lash curler very often, but if I'm going for maximum impact of lashes, then I will. This is the Shiseido one, which is a very popular one. I also like the Refer lash curlers. Because my lashes are fairly curly naturally and I try to take care of them, and I don't really think that lash curlers are very good to use like every single day. They can damage your lashes, you know, they are pinching and clamping onto them all the time. So I wouldn't recommend using this like every time you do your mascara or every day. But if you're going for a day where you want the maximum impact from your lashes, grab a lash curler. So all you're going to do is you're going to get this as close to your lash line as possible. It should be touching your skin. Make sure that no lashes are left out. You don't want some that are sort of left behind, because that's going to cause you problems. You want everything to be uniform. So make sure that is as close to your lid as possible. And then I like to gently at first clamp the lashes, and then I'll look in the mirror and make sure that I've got every lash, nothing's left out. And I will also use my finger to spread them out so they're sort of in the shape that you want before squeezing. This is just going to make sure that they kind of go in the direction and shape that you want, and they're not all sort of being pushed in different directions as you're clamping them. And I'll just give these several good old squeezes. There you go. Nothing crazy, nothing too much, just that little bit of extra lift. So showing you again, get them in the clamp, just loosely, not squeezing them, and just sort of organize them, fan them out, and then pump the lash curler. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. My eye wants to cry. So this is what we've got after using the lash curler. I'm going to show you on this side. These, I didn't really like fan them out as well as on this side. And can you see how they're kind of angled up this way? And we can kind of correct this a bit with mascara, but that's why it's really good to make sure they're properly fanned out on the curler before you do all your pinching, because that is going to really help make sure you've got the right shape. Okay, so now it is mascara time, and I'm trying not to blind you, but I have a little handheld magnifying mirror, because this is one of the tricks to making as little mess as possible. My natural lashes are quite long, so they will touch and I will get mascara on my lid, but the angle of the mirror and the way that I use it is going to try and keep my lashes away from touching while they're really wet and ruining my eyeshadow. So I pull the mascara wand out and I always wipe the tip. That's just to make sure there's no excess on there that's going to get on my skin or leave me a clump. Put the tube down. It's annoying to have it in your hand. You don't need to pump the mascara. That's just going to get a lot of air into your mascara tube and age it. You just need to unscrew and pull it out. Wipe the excess off the tip. And now most mascara wands have like one side that is quite short and flat, and then the curved side. So I like to place it so that the flat side is kind of at the bottom, the root of the lash, and then the larger, longer side is kind of pointing upwards, if that makes sense. I'm going to hold my mirror down here and look into it like that, and that is going to make sure that my lashes stay away from my eyelids, so they're not touching it too much and making too much of a mess. And that's really important. Hold it down here and like look down into it, and you'll see your lashes are staying quite far from your lid. If I do my mascara here, they're going to be really close to my skin and you're going to make much more of a mess. So I start off wiggling at the root, and then I blink as I travel up the length of the lash, wiggle and blink. And in this first coat, because believe me, there's going to be more than one. But for this first coat, the majority of what we're doing is getting the shape that we want the lashes to be in. We're not going to get any crazy dramatic effect in this first coat. All we're doing is coating every lash from all sides and getting the shape that we want, because with this first coat we're going to set that shape and then build on it, just like you would your hair. So you curled your hair, you've applied this to your lashes, and then you're going to let it cool or let it set and dry down a little bit, and then you can keep that exact shape, keep that lift, keep all the curl, keep all the separation, and just build and make them bigger. So I like with these inner corner lashes, you'll notice I'm pushing them with the tip of the mascara inside to the inner corner of my eye, and then I'm combing through. I'm making sure that I'm pushing them that way so that I'm going to get a really nice fanned out lash. And then the center lashes I'm just pushing straight up, and then these outer corners I'm dragging to the outer corner. So we push these lashes towards the inner corner, the lashes in the middle we brush straight up, and the lashes on the outer corner we drag this way. And that's going to make sure that you have your lashes as far as the eye can see from corner to corner. If you push them all straight up, you're going to lose some lashes here and here, and it's just not going to give you that fanned out look and make your eye look really nice and wide. So once you have coated every last lash from the front, we have to go from the back. So you've been coating the front of your lashes. Lots of people neglect the back of the lashes. So what we're going to do now is we're going to place the wand behind our lashes and roll it. So the wand is going to go here behind our lashes, and we're going to roll it forward and pull the wand through our lashes like this. What this does is it gives you mega volume. I feel like coating the lashes from the front gives you lots of length. Coating them from the back is where we get our volume. But you always want to end brushing them back up, because when you roll them down, that's going to make the lashes go down. So you want to finish the coat on a upward front pass to make sure that the shape and the direction of all the lashes is where you want them. Can you see here where I kind of squash my lashes with the lash curler, that these ones are kind of pointing in an unruly direction, which was my mistake. As you can see, although I consider myself a mascara expert, we all make mistakes and get things wrong occasionally. Me more than most. So that's just stopping these outer lashes kind of fanning out in the direction I want, but I did a better job on this eye, so we'll see that better over here. Okay, so the mascara is going back in, fully closing it, twisting it down, and this is one coat versus nothing. And as you can see, we've got a nice lot of length. We've got all the lashes fully coated, and I've got a nice fanned out shape. We're going to do the same on this eye. Wiggle and blink, wiggle and blink. And this time I'm going to have a much easier job of doing the outer corner lashes how I like them, because I did a better job of those in the curler. From behind and rolling, and then pushing back up. And you can see when I'm not sort of taking my time to explain everything so much, this isn't a time-consuming process. Only is going to take a few seconds. So you can see on this lash that these outer lashes, where I did a better job of clamping them in the curler, are lifting up and going in the right direction and continuing kind of the elongation of the eye, whereas this one they're kind of bending inwards, which is very, very irritating, but it's a good I did it on purpose, okay? I definitely did it on purpose to show you the difference, okay? That's what happened here. So we have one coat, and I've got my shape. I'm really happy with how my lashes are fanned out, and we haven't got any clumping, not a lot of mess, more mess on this side for some reason, but not a lot of mess or transfer onto my skin. And you don't want to leave the mascara too long in between coats. If it dries down, it's hard to build upon, but you also don't want to do your second coat too quickly, or you're just going to apply wet mascara on top of wet mascara and you're not going to get any build. What you want to look for is if you blink onto your finger, you should get a tiny little bit of transfer. You shouldn't get a whole wet smear of mascara, and there shouldn't be nothing. You should just get a tiny bit, and that shows you that you're ready for your second coat. I like to typically do another item of makeup in between my coats. So I'll do a coat of mascara and then primer, and then my mascara is ready for coat 2. So with coat 2, we're doing mostly a blinking effect. We can't really wiggle so much now that the mascara from coat 1 is already laid down. We're just combing the mascara through, and this is really going to build on the volume side. And we're wanting to keep our shape, but that's going to be easier because we have that first coat which we're literally just building on top of. We've already got our shape and it's set down mostly, so we're just going to blink onto the wand and pull it through. And the same thing as we did on the first coat, we're going to put the mascara wand behind the lashes and drag it through to get the other side. And that's also going to make sure we comb through any clumps. Can you see how much mascara that got on? But then we're going to comb it through. So we get a lot of mascara laid down, but we're going to keep using that wand to brush that through the length of the lashes. Now, just here on those outer lashes, again, we've got a little bit too much mascara has deposited there. So I'm going to grab my lash comb. This is from Tweezerman. If I can find it, I'll link it below. And I'm just going to blink through that and comb out any excess, any clumpiness that you don't want. And that's looking much better, much more separated, less clumped together. I don't always use my lash comb every time I apply mascara, but it's really good if that happens, if you accidentally overload your lashes with product. It's a really easy way of just tidying it up. So you can see the difference in length and a bit extra volume on this side, 2 coats versus 1. So again, I've closed up my mascara and then reopened it. And we're ready to go on this side. Again, no wiggling for coat 2. Just blinking onto the brush and then dragging for the back. Rolling and pulling through the lashes from the back. Blinking and dragging from the front. This coat is definitely going to get messier as far as the transfer because your lashes are now humongous. Like I said, you don't have to worry so much about the shape because you've already kind of set that from that first coat. We are just building up. So this side is gone exactly as I hoped for, exactly as I want my lashes to look. So I don't need to use the mascara comb on here. This side has just turned out much more how I like it without needing to correct. But I'm really glad that this side didn't actually, because it's really important to show you guys how I kind of fix things. I'm also going to show you how I remove the transfer that we've got on my lids, so that will hopefully help for you, because that is unavoidable. I feel like, especially if you're trying to make your lashes huge, you're going to get some transfer because your lashes are hopefully going to be touching your eyebrows when we're done. So what you want to do with mess is just ignore it. Ignore it for as long as possible until you are completely done with your makeup and you need to leave. And then you are going to get a Q-tip. Now, the reason we want to leave it is we want the mascara to dry, and then it's going to be very easy to like push off of the skin. If you start using one of these when it's still wet, that's when smear is going to happen, and then that's a nightmare. You've ruined your makeup. So we're literally going to wait until the last minute, and then you can just very gently buff it off your skin because it's going to be dried down. It's going to be like a flake that you can buff away very easily without disturbing any of your eyeshadow. And now we're going in for coat number 3, and all we're going to do here is literally lightly blink onto the brush, just as we have been doing, and this is about just getting the absolute maximum length and impact. We're not going to go from the other side this time because it's going to be too messy, and now they're quite loaded with product. That can go badly wrong and you end up with a lot of clumping to deal with. So I'm just firmly blinking and dragging the brush through. Again, any little clumps, and you can just give the comb a once through your lashes, and that's just going to keep more lashes instead of lots of them being clumped together. Again, just blinking onto the wand and pulling it through the length of the lash. And now when you are completely finished with that third coat and the wand will have barely any mascara left on it, now is when I like to do my lower lash line. My lower lashes are really long, quite curly, just like my top lashes, and so I don't really want to put much product there or they just look insane and crazy. I just want to drag an almost completely clean wand through my lashes and just kind of colour them in. So that's what I'm going to do. This time you want to look down like this so that your lashes come away from your under eye area so you don't get so much transfer. So I'm looking, my mirror is here and I'm looking right down into it, making as much of a double chin as possible. And I just sort of lightly drag the wand across them. I don't want to wiggle, I don't want to blink, that's not going to help because these lashes don't blink. I'm just literally passing it lightly over them, dragging them on the inner bit, again making sure the shape is where I like it, but I don't want to wiggle, I don't want to really deposit a lot of product on these lashes because they can look insane very quickly. Again, don't drag everything this way, you want to make sure you're pushing these inner corner lashes towards your nose, otherwise everything's just going to look a little strange and kind of swept across like you've been caught in a breeze. You want to kind of follow the shape of your eye and frame the eye. Okay, so here we have 3 coats on the top and 1 very light coat on the bottom. As you can see, there's a little bit too much on this lash, and so what I like to do these, I will just literally pull it off with a nail. If there's any kind of lumps or they've gone a bit too long or there's any flakes because you've been using that sort of drier, more bare wand, I just pull them off with a nail or a finger, not the lash by the way, the clump. Don't pull your lash off, that's dramatic. And the final thing I like to do that really enhances my lashes is a waterline brightening liner. I really like this one from Charlotte Tilbury, it's called Eye Cheat. And it really just opens your eye up, and again I think it just complements a really dramatic lash and gives them your eyes like the focus of your eye. Look, it brightens everything up, it really sort of contrasts against the black mascara and I feel like it enhances them even more. And here is the finished mascara routine. I absolutely love these lashes, so fanned out and pretty, but because I haven't got a really dramatic eyeshadow look today, nothing's fighting with it, it just really makes my eyes like the focus of my makeup. I've not got a lot of blush or a really bright or deep lip colour today, so I really wanted my lashes just to be like the star of the show today, and I feel like they are. You can see lots of lashes, really fanned out, dramatic but still pretty and light, and this is exactly what I go for with my lashes. Okay, so that is my ultimate mascara routine for when I really want my lashes to pop. And also I'm so glad that there was some little bumps and hiccups today, which is what I usually experience whenever I'm doing my makeup, and I got to share with you how I kind of fix things on the go and how I kind of tweak things as I go along when I'm doing my mascara usually. So hopefully this was really helpful. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I would love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.